NASCAR has a race that nobody can agree on. Not the drivers, not the tracks, not even the guy running one of the biggest speedway companies in the sport. And now Dale Earnhardt Jr. just said something that should terrify everyone counting on this event surviving. He didn't hint that the All-Star race needs fixing. He said the strongest pitch he's heard is scrapping it completely. That's not a throwaway comment. That's a 5-alarm signal about where this event actually stands. Here's where things sit right now. The All-Star race is expected to head back to North Wilkesboro in 2027, the track that hosted it from 2023 through 2025, before finally earning a real points-paying date this year. Dover held this year's exhibition race, but the Monster Mile is on track to reclaim its own points-paying weekend in 2027, which pushes the All-Star event out the door, looking for a new home again. Nothing here is locked in. Nothing here is official. And that uncertainty is exactly the problem. This race has turned into NASCAR's game of musical chairs. It started at Charlotte for decades. Then it bounced to Texas, then to North Wilkesboro for 3 straight years. Now, Dover. Now, maybe North Wilkesboro again. A marquee event with $1 million prize on the line shouldn't feel like a scheduling afterthought, but that's exactly the vibe Earnhardt Jr. described during a roundtable with Jeff Burton, Speedway Motorsports President Marcus Smith, and Motorsports writer Matt Weaver on the Dale Jr. download. And this instability doesn't just affect one weekend. It affects how tracks plan renovations, how fans plan travel, and how seriously drivers even take the event. When a race keeps relocating with no long-term identity, it starts feeling optional. Optional is a dangerous word for something that's supposed to be a showcase. Let's break down what's actually happening here, because this is bigger than just picking a venue. Marcus Smith made an interesting point during the discussion. He believes the All-Star race has historically been NASCAR's testing ground, a place to experiment with formats, rules, and ideas that eventually spread across the entire schedule. But he also admitted something telling. Recent changes to the format haven't landed well with the audience, and the race has quietly become an easy target for criticism. That's a problem, because an exhibition race only has value if fans actually care about the outcome. Once it becomes background noise, the entire justification for its existence starts to collapse. Then there's Jeff Burton's angle, and honestly, this is the most fascinating wrinkle in the whole conversation. Burton floated the idea years ago of taking the All-Star race to legendary short tracks like South Boston Speedway, Orange County Speedway, or Hickory, tracks that built the sport's identity in the first place. And according to Burton, industry heavyweights shut that idea down almost instantly, insisting NASCAR had outgrown those venues. Think about the irony there. A sport built on dirt track roots and short track grit, rejecting the very places that made it what it is, all while struggling to figure out where its exhibition race even belongs. There's also a real possibility hanging over this entire situation. With the class shifting back to Daytona in 2027, that opens up Bowman Gray Stadium as a potential new home for the All-Star race. Smith didn't rule it out. He kept the door open, which tells you NASCAR genuinely doesn't have a fixed answer yet. So what's smart here and what's risky? Rotating venues keeps things fresh and gives fans something to anticipate. But rotate too often with no anchor and no identity, and you get exactly what's happening now, an event nobody can define, defend, or predict. Fans are split right down the middle on this one. Some want the chaos energy, format changes, new tracks, unpredictable outcomes. Others are exhausted by an event that reinvents itself every single year with no consistency. Media reaction has leaned skeptical too. When a Hall of Fame driver as respected as Earnhardt Jr. openly suggests eliminating the race might be the best option on the table, that's not a small crack. It's a signal that the exhibition format itself might be broken at its core. Best case scenario, NASCAR commits to a bold, permanent identity for the All-Star race, whether that's North Wilkesboro long-term or a surprising short-track revival like Burton suggested. A fixed home builds tradition, tradition builds anticipation, and anticipation builds ratings. Worst case scenario, the race keeps bouncing year to year with no consistency, fan interest keeps eroding, and NASCAR eventually pulls the plug entirely, just like Earnhardt Jr. hinted could be the smartest move on the table. So here's the real question. Should NASCAR fight to save the All-Star race by finally giving it a permanent home, or was Dale Jr. right that the boldest move is walking away from it completely? Drop your take in the comments, because this debate is only getting louder heading into 2027. If you want the sharpest NASCAR breakdowns before anyone else covers them, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA.